We're still in their generations, right? As we go through, and I and I was sharing with my wife as we were on our way here. You know, I said a lot of times I'm up here, and this, uh, I'm just kind of talking with you, sharing because some of these books y'all have never read for yourself personally. And as I do my own combing through, I said, man, I've never heard this before. Or when I do hear it, I say we don't hear it enough. And then some people are just scared to go to some of that stuff to see how it connects back. But when he tells you to remember something, you go back and you start reading Genesis, and if you get through the first 10 chapters, and you think you understand it, you think you got it down. But what he's giving you, like I said often, is a snapshot. You know, there are so many things that we need to understand. But he said this. He wrote this book specifically to his people for a specific reason, and he doesn't have to include everything in it. But he's telling you that he's giving you the clues to that you can go back and do this research. Right? He says, "Study to show yourself approve unto who? Unto Elohim, right? Not unto anybody else but him. Do you need to know?" And he's telling us to go back through the generations for a specific reason. So let me go ahead and do the preliminaries. All right. Please keep your mic muted except when asking or answering a question. Use the mic to speak. Use the mic to speak. Please use the mic to speak. There is a feature on Zoom in the meeting room where you can raise your hand if you have a question. There is a feature on the Zoom in the meeting room where you can raise your hand if you have a question. All questions must be on topic. You have 60 seconds to ask or answer a question. If you pass your 60-second window, your mic will be muted for you. These are due to time and recordings of the lessons. These are live teachings. We must give the moral enough time to complete the lesson. Well, in my case, sometimes you might need an hour and a half. Sometimes you might need 30 minutes. We'll see. We'll see what the day brings. All right. Oh, sleek out. All right. So again, I'm going over this Song of Moses. Like I'm telling you, he's telling us to do something. He's giving us some information. And he said that we're supposed to learn the song. He's telling Moses before he goes, he said, hey, write this down and teach it to the people, and for a reason, right? It's going to be a witness against us. So Deuteronomy 32:5. You probably all read it together by now. You probably know it by heart. They have dealt corruptly with him. They are no longer his children because they are blemished. They are crooked and twisted generation. Do you thus repay Yahuah, you foolish and senseless people? Is he not your father who created you, who made you and established you? Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask your father, and he will show you, your elders, and they will tell you. When the Most High gave the nations their inheritance, when he divided mankind, he fixed the borders of the people according to the numbers of the sons of El. All right, so today we're going to get into more of what kind of happened as we go towards Nimrod. I'm going to finish with Nimrod today. And then next week you won't have me at all. You have Maury Kanan's back as that. But like I said, this book was written for a particular purpose. See, my purpose will stand. Isaiah 46:8. Remember this and consider, recall it to mind. Every time we read the scriptures, it should not just be, well, I got my reading in for the day. Is that how it is? I got my reading in for the day. It should be, oh yeah, this connects to this. Light bulbs just start coming on. You say, oh, wait a minute. You start to get the understanding, not just within how you should be developing within yourself. You got the Mores always talking about looking within, monitoring yourself, checking yourself against the rule of what Yahuah has given us. So we should be calling these things to mind. Say, you transgressors. He said, remember the former things of old. So what do we know, right? This book was written to a group of people that's no longer here. And when they read this, something triggers in their mind, some historical things. Remember the things of old, not just what Israel did, because Israel was just a repeat cycle of a pattern that was already presented, right? For I am El, and there is none other. I am Elohim, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times, things not yet done, saying, my purpose shall stand, and I will fulfill my intentions. This is the uniqueness of this particular book. Why do I say that? Has anybody heard of the Epic of Gilgamesh? You've heard of the creation story of, I can't even think of the name of it, but it's like they got like 4 or 5 different creation stories. All of them predate the Bible by 1,000 or 2,000 years. Give or take, right? And the Epic of Gilgamesh, I think, predates Abraham by 100. So if somebody were to tell you that, and you don't understand the history of what Yahuah has done and why he wrote this particular book, he says, none of these other things you can read about and know what's going to happen to come. None of those epics tell you that they are the creator, even though they're mentioning things in there that are similar to the Noah story, the flood, because they were all there. They all participated. I don't want nobody to rock your foundation coming to tell you, the Bible's just so many years old. This was before then. The Book of the Dead was out before. Well, the Egypt Book of the Dead should have been out. The Bible tells us this. The Bible is telling you a lot of things up front. That's why I'm telling you, chapter 1 to chapter 11, it's a smoker. It's a lot of stuff in there, but you got to dig it out. It's coded. It's information that's there. It's pointing to you things. But if you don't know it, you will be like, somebody give you that information, you'll be like, what? No, the Bible is, no. This was put together for a specific reason, and it is the only book that'll tell you what's going to happen happen in the end from the very beginning. He shows you the pattern through and through, all the way to the end. All right. Calling a bird of prey from the east, a man for my purpose, and from a far country I've spoken, and I will bring it to pass. I have planned it, and I will do it. He says, you're going to know that. You're going to know, because I'm telling you, this is how you're going to know that I am who I say I am. Period. There's no other. All those books you never heard of them. Some people hear them because they're seeking and searching out this different information, trying to find things. You run into different groups of people, and they share stuff with you, right? But in the book of Bereshit, the Creator has given us a synopsis of the history of man. It designed to instruct and forewarn his people and all those who join themselves to Yahuah, for his purpose and pleasure will be fulfilled upon the earth. So what does Bereshit mean? This kind of clue. Bereshit, what is it? A beginning.
A beginning.
In a beginning. Bereshit. Some say in beginnings. This is telling you that alone tells you something. That should say, hold on, wait a minute. This is telling me about beginnings. It's giving you synopsis and snapshots of things in time that you need to be aware of, because this is the common things that happen to men all the time. All right, let's keep going. All right, bring this graphic back. All these people come from those 3 guys and that one guy up there. Noah, Japheth, Shem, Ham. You got Egypt, you got Assyria, and you got those guys up north that we call that eventually become the Greeks and the Romans right? All these cultures that were before us. They say, these are ancient cultures that were before this. Yeah, we know that because the Bible tells us. He says in Acts 17:26, he says, and hath made one blood all nations of men for to dwell on the face of the earth, and has determined the times before appointed in the bounds of their habitation. We all come from there. And so as we see today, as we go through as our conversation, as we go through, we're going to see that Noah gave them some instructions. He also told them about a vision he had, that what they were going to do, and there were some outside influences, which brought about the next fella when we get to Cush. And Cush had a son. But do you see him? You see him here? Sons of Cush, Nimrod. He was the first to do something. And in that first of doing something, we'll see later. I need you to keep that in mind. I need you to, when you're reading this Bible, I need you to be engaged. Engaged. It's going to change your life. All right. Jubilee 7:20. Ordinance, commandments, and judgments. Where do we hear that before? We hear that constantly in the Torah, right? This is a part of the Torah. He's showing you that this was before Israel was even a people. Before we met at Mount Sinai, there were some ordinances, commandments, and judgments. He gave them to Adam. Adam went down to Enoch. Enoch down to Noah. Noah carried it over to the next generation. All right, here we go. Jubilee 7:20. And in the 28th Jubilee, Noah began to command his grandsons with ordinances and commands and all the judgments which he knew. And he bore witness to his sons so that they might do justice. Are we commanded to do justice? No? All right. He told Abraham, he made this statement of Abraham, because that Abraham obeyed my voice and he kept my charge and my commands, my commandments and statutes and my laws. This is before the Torah was written down on those tablets and handed down to Israel. But there was always a Torah. There was always laws, statutes, and commandments. All right? We can see it here. Genesis 18:19. No, for I have chosen him, for he may charge his children, he's talking about Abraham, and his household after him to keep my ways, keep the way of Yahuah by doing righteousness and justice, so that Yahuah may bring about for Abraham what he has promised him. So the things that Noah was telling his children when he was yet living, his descendant who was called out, Yahuah said, this guy's going to do it. All right. Exodus 23:2. And you shall not follow a majority in wrongdoing. When you bear witness in a lawsuit, you shall not side with the majority so as to pervert justice. You shall not pervert the justice due to your poor in the lawsuit. We are not supposed to just bend the law or bend justice one way or another because of how we feel. I think it's fair this way. We're supposed to stick with what's in front of us. All right. Then he says, cover the shame of their flesh. Do justice and cover the shame. What was the first time we seen him covering the shame of their flesh? In the garden. All right.
In the garden.
Yeah, thank you. Toda. And Yahuah Elohim made garments of skin for the man and for his wife and clothed them. All right. And you shall make for them linen garments to cover their naked flesh, that they shall reach from the hip to the thigh. That's the breeches that most people talk about. That's the undergarment. All right. To cover their nakedness. All right. Ezekiel 18. This is something that we're supposed to do. You say, this person does not oppress anyone, but restores to the debtor his pledge. This is a righteous person. That's what you're supposed to do. Commits no robbery, gives his bread to the hungry, and covers the naked with a garment. Noah's telling his children and his grandchildren that way back then. Cover the shame, because that's what his son didn't do. Right? Noah didn't really do anything wrong. He got a little intoxicated, had a little something. He went in his room and laid down. it was his son that walks in there, sees this, instead of honoring his father the way he should, he comes out and make mockery of it. And his brother's looking at him like he's crazy. And they go in there and do it the right way and cover their father up. And while looking at him, they respected him that much. There was a pattern that was being started then. All right. Then he says, bless the one who created him. Are we supposed to bless the one that created us? Yes. He said, bless Yahuah, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his set-apart name. Bless Yahuah, O my soul, and do not forget all his benefits, who forgives all your iniquity, who heals all your diseases, who redeems your life from the pit, who crowns you with steadfast love and mercy, and who satisfies you with good as long as you live, so that your youth is renewed like the eagles. That's some of our favorite verses, right? Bless Yahuah, O my soul, right? He says, honor father and mother. He's telling them then, what Ham did not do, he's commanding, hey, this is a commandment. Honor your father and your mother. We're supposed to honor our father and mother. Exodus 20:12 tells us that. It says, so that your days may be long upon the land that Yahuah Elohim gives you. Then Sirach says this is what I like. He says, those who respect their father will have long life, and those who honor their mother obey Yahuah. He's telling them that back then. Oh, before, after the flood, and before Abraham. All right? This is ancient. This is nothing new. So when they start coming at you, Hammurabi's code, it was before, yes, it was. But they didn't follow none of it. That's the problem. He was trying to deal with what? All of the sons of Adam, all of the sons of Noah, but they wasn't following that instruction, right? He says, each one love his neighbor. Are we commanded to love our neighbors? Of course. You shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against any of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am Yahuah. Right? Proverbs 24:28 says, be not a witness against your neighbor without a cause. And do not deceive with your lips. Don't go lying on them, bearing false witness. Do not say, I will do to him as he has done to me. I will repay the man back for what he has done. You say, I'm going to get that get back. You know how it is. But who says we can't do that? Yes, that's correct. Vengeance is mine, I will repay. All right. And then he says to them, let me go back. I want to finish this. And he says, and preserve themselves. He tells them, and preserve yourself from fornication and pollution and all injustice or iniquity. Right? We know what fornication is, do we? All right. Yeah. See, I figured that probably would happen, but fornication is you having two things. One, it's a spiritual thing, right? It is a spiritual thing because we go a whoring, right, after other mighty ones. They're Elohims, and a part of that is the sexual component, right? So when you see prostitution, and when you see, pornography, and when you see, and you do all these things, this is polluting yourself. You're polluting your body, and you're saying, I belong to this mighty one. There's an actual spirit behind this. It's not just something that we just made up. All the stuff that we have, we didn't make none of it. Our imaginations aren't that good.
So in layman terms, when you just you sleep with this one, you go sleep with that one, fornication or whoredom, there's all they do is, oh, I like that person, let me go sleep with that. Oh, I like that one too, let me go sleep with that one. Fornication.
That's it. Yeah, you're just sleeping around. You're going flitting around from one mighty one to the next because that sex becomes your mighty one. Say, well, I got that urge, I gotta have it, I I need it. I need that fix. All right. Jubilee 7:21. All right. Noah warning to the future generations. So he's sitting there, he's warning them. Oh, we go on. All right. For on account of these three, the flood came upon the earth. For it was because of fornication of the watchers, right? Apart from the mandate of their authority, right? And Jude tells us this. Jude is telling you something way at the back of the little book, the little 1, 2, 3 pages before, you were stepping into John. He tells you something to point you forward. I'll wait. No, that's good. Okay, good. All right. And he says, and the Malachim who did not stay in their own position of authority, but left their proper dwelling as he has been kept in eternal chains under gloomy darkness until the judgment of the great day. I didn't really get into that this time, but there's a lot to unpack in there. Because you got to understand, eternal beings are being held until a judgment day, right? Eternal beings are being held. And then we'll get into that later. All right, we'll get into that later. All right, Jubilee 7:25. And Yahuah blotted out everything from the face of the earth on account of these evil deeds, on account of the evil of their deeds, and on account of the blood which they poured out in the midst of the land, he blotted out everything. Right? And it goes on to say, and we were left, I, you, my children. You're going to notice that he repeats these stories over and over again. Why is that? Huh? Somebody said something about Ushinantam, Lebaneka, Utibatabam. Huh? That's what he said? Huh? Okay.
He repeats this over and over so it could ingrain in us, in our spirit.
Because how can if you don't know something, if you don't really know it, how can you pass it on to the next generation? I told you last week. You got one more.
No, just real quick. I was going to say, honestly, the word says that every matter is established by 2 or 3 witnesses. So that's also another reason as to why he kind of keeps repeating it. He's giving you that 2, 3 different witnesses to be able to show this is what my matter is.
Okay, that's good. But like I said, we ain't got time. We ain't got time, baby. Oh my goodness, we ain't got time. You know what I'm saying? You think you got time. We're looking at our little yellow deem and yellow does, and you thinking, oh, they got the whole life ahead of us. But we live in stages of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Uh-oh, the clock is about to speed up. 60, 70, 80. And if you don't get your work done, then what happens? Yeah, in the grave. You know what I'm saying? Look. I was telling a brother last week, I said, look, I'm looking at my father. When he got to 50 years old, he got in a hurry because he felt like he had to do something. My father's yet alive. He's 74 today. Well, this month. He made 74. But his time is over. There's nothing he can do. He's sitting on the sidelines. Whatever's written is written. And all he's just waiting for is for the collector to come. Right? We could be in our right mind until 90, 100. But I've been listening today. It was like, oh man, people dropping and going at 34, 25. You know what I'm saying? Time is of the essence. You got to have an urgency about it. Say when we come into the knowledge of the truth, we're doing what? Redeem the time. Because you realize, my goodness. All right. So Noah tells his children everything which entered into the ark. And beheld, I see, he said, I see your deeds before me, that you have not been ones who walked in righteousness, because you have begun to walk in the paths of corruption. And each one of you will be separated from his neighbor. These are cousins, brothers, aunts and uncles, family. We got a strange family today, don't we?
Yeah, and plus, I mean, if you take a look at what he's sharing, they walk in the path. There's a lot of paths to corruption. There's only one narrow path to him.
To righteousness. Absolutely. And this one will be jealous of that one. And I see that you will not be together. Oh, my sons, each one his brother. Can you see why he wants us to go back and look at this? Here we are. We all come into the knowledge of the truth. But for some reason, one is jealous of that one. And you will not be together. And you can't, and even though you're brothers, you can't seem to really get together. So we got to break this pattern. What path are we walking on? All right. All right. He said, for I see and behold the demons, all right, or the Shadim, have begun to mislead you and your children. And now I fear for your sakes that after I die, you will pour out the blood of men upon the earth, and you will be blotted out from the surface of the earth. Oh yeah. The demons have begun to mislead you. Well, where are these demons coming from, right? No. We're talking about this week. All right. Now he goes on, in the third week of that Jubilee, the polluted demons began to lead astray the children of Noah's sons, and to lead them to folly and to destroy them. And the sons of Noah came to Noah, their father, and they told him about the demons who were leading astray and binding them and killing his grandchildren. Right? This is still happening, people. When you don't have a solid foundation, or somebody in your house ain't towing the line, or in your generations ain't towing the line, you don't know. You say, well, I know when y'all go, y'all gonna be in trouble, because you was the one praying. You was the one standing before the Most High. You was the one you trying to say, I'm trying to get you to catch on. I want my children to catch on, because I'm not gonna be here always. I need you to pass this on to my children and my grandchildren. All right. So he says, well, where are these demons coming from, right? We talked about it before, the origins of the evil spirits. Go to the first book of Enoch, 15:1. He said, but he raised me up, and this is Enoch talking, and said to me with his voice, Enoch, I then heard, do not fear, Enoch, righteous man, scribe of righteousness, come near to me and hear my voice. Because the watchers asked him to go before the Most High and intercede on their behalf. He says, and tell the watchers of heaven, on whose behalf you have been sent to intercede. It is meet for you to intercede on behalf of man, and not man on behalf of you. The purpose of the Malachim in the first place, Hebrews 1:14. He says it's not suitable for you to intercede on behalf of the watchers. He said, are not all Malachim spirit in the divine service sent to serve for the sake of those who will inherit salvation? Matthew 18:10. He says, this is Mashiach saying, he said, take care that you do not despise one of these little ones. For I tell you, in the Shamayim, in heaven, their Malachim continually see the face of my Father in the Shamayim, in heaven. So the Most High is telling me, like, look, you coming up here asking about these matters is not your place, and they should know better. All right? But he said, you go back and you tell them this. For what reason have you abandoned the high, set apart in eternal heaven, and slept with the women and defiled yourselves with the daughters of the people, taking wives, acting like the children of the earth, and begetting giants? Surely you used to be set apart, spiritual, the living ones, possessing eternal life. You used to be, but now You have defiled yourselves with women, and with the blood of the flesh begotten children. You have lusted with the blood of the people, like them producing blood and flesh, which die and perish. Now he said something about covenant. What's the rule? What's the commandment on covenant? Covet what? Oh yeah, I need. You shouldn't covet. They was up there coveting. They got something they said, you got something I want, and I got something you want. Oh yeah, you think. You know better now though. All right. Verse 6. Indeed, you formerly were spiritual, having eternal life and immortal in all the generations of the world. So they'd been around a while. He's not called the Ancient of Days because he was just come on the scene yesterday. Right? They're not ancient because it just popped up a few 100,000 years ago. They've been around. There was no the creator said, I ain't got no maker. There's no end and no start to me. I've been around. Then I created you guys. Am I not your father, the one that created you? This is how you repay me? Uh-oh. Deuteronomy 32, coming full circle. All right? That is why formerly I did not make wise for you. For the dwelling of the spiritual beings of heaven is where? In the Shamayim. I made you for here. He made us for here. Right? So he says, the heavens are Yahuah's heavens, but the earth has been given to human beings, to mankind, to men. Thou, even thou, art Yahuah alone. Thou hast made heaven, the heaven of heavens. Right? The Shamayim, it's just this plural. It's like saying more and more and more. Shamayim is plural by itself. With all their host, they were a part of the host. And the earth and all the things that's in it. We are part of the earth and a part of the things that's in it. The sea and all that is in there. And you perceivest them all. And the host of heaven worship you. That's the order. But they broke it. Right? They broke the order. Here we go. He said, but now the giants who are born from the unions, the spirits and the flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth. Ain't no place for them up here. You've lost your position. You will die like men. Psalms 82. You will die like men. And your children that you bore, when they die, they're just going to wander the earth. Their spirit ain't coming nowhere near. They're going to just wander. They're going to be in the earth and of the earth. Because their dwelling shall be upon the earth and inside the earth. Evil spirits have come out of their bodies, because from the day that they were created, from the set apart ones, they became the watchers. Their first origin is the spiritual foundation. They will become evil upon the earth and shall be called evil spirits. The dwelling of the spiritual beings of heaven is heaven. But the dwellings of the spirits of the earth, which are born upon the earth, is in earth. So when we, at the great day, once everything is said and done, where will our spirits dwell? When we get our new bodies, where we going to be? What? Where we going to be? Oh, Eretz. We were created for what? The Eretz. Right? He didn't create it in vain. He said, and the spirits of the giants, they did what? They afflict, they oppress, they destroy, attack, do battle, and work destruction on the earth. We wrestle not against what? We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against what? Powers. Ooh-wee. And cause trouble. That's all they do. They take no food, and nevertheless they hunger and thirst. Insatiable. See, and if you can see this, you'll see where some of these myths and legends come from in the mythology. You know, if you really start looking at everything, they're telling you something And you're thinking, oh, that's just all make-believe. If you think that's make-believe, then you're making Yahuah's make-believe. And he's telling you there's other mighty ones in the earth and evil spirits. And you're saying, nope, that's all pretend. There's no such thing as witchcraft. There's no such thing as divination. There's no such thing as roots and runes. All the stuff they call New Age is old age, ancient stuff that was taught by the watchers. This is ancient. You take your little crystal, you wrap it in your little thing, your little copper wire you're hanging on. It's supposed to align your chakras and keep your energy level right. That's old. That's ancient information. That's old knowledge that's just resurfacing. All right? And these spirits shall rise up against the children of men and against the women because they have proceeded from them. They're here to cause us misery, to test our heart. All right? Boom. Here comes Nimrod. Here comes Nimrod, the Nimrod generation. Cush became the father of Nimrod. What does that mean? You say, oh, he had a baby and his name was Nimrod. Okay, we'll see. He was the first on the earth to become a mighty warrior. Oh, that sounds so nice. He was a mighty warrior. That's what's wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. He was a mighty hunter before Yahuah. Therefore, it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before Yahuah. Has anybody else read this before? Have you seen anything else in the scriptures concerning this matter? Have you even seen anything in the other writings concerning this matter? Oh, okay, we'll see. And say, the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, and Akkadian, and all of them in the land of Shinar. So he's giving us a lot of clues here. This is where you got to take out your shovel and start digging. All right, let's see. Who is Nimrod and what does it mean? Anybody? Except for Lamadyahu. I know he know. All right, this is what I'm talking about. Who is Nimrod? What does it mean? Say, if every Hebrew name has a meaning, what does his name mean? It's not Hebrew. It's not a Hebrew name. Matter of fact, we're going to see here. All right. So Nimrod, the etymology, holy, meaning wholly unknown, right? Dubious. It doesn't know. They don't know. They say, we don't know, but we know that the root of the word, Mara, is rebel, right? And we know that in the Babylonian kingdom, the prince Nu was man, and Marat, man of rebellion. That's where they get it from. Man of rebellion, right? And it's associated with the heroes and hunters, Babylon building of Nineveh, blah, blah, blah. All right. So remember that. Nimrod is a rebel. He's a man of rebellion. All right. And so when you go to the next word, Marad, it says meaning rebel, and it's used to describe the activities of resisting authority, whether against Yahuah or humans. Resisting authority. He is the epitome. It's more like a title than a person, you know. But he is the epitome of rebellion. All right. And we'll see that here. You see, Job says, Job 24:13, there are those who rebel against the light, who are not acquainted with its ways and do not stay in its paths. What is the light? Microphone, please. Anybody know what the light is? I need a microphone. I know you probably know it. Just get a microphone and say it. Huh?
Mishlei Proverbs 6:23.
All right. Here we go. You're right. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light unto my path. For the commandments is a lamp, and your teaching a light, and the reproofs of discipline is the way of life. So what Noah was giving them was Torah, commandments, instruction, direction. And he was rebelling against everything that they were trying to instill in him. Right? He's rebelling against it. All right. Ezekiel 20:36. He says, as I enter into judgment, and I believe this, Mashiach says, Yahuwah said he's going to purge out the rebels from among us. All right. He said, as I enter into judgment with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so I will enter into judgment with you, declared Adon Yahuwah. I will make you pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant, and I will purge out the rebels, same word, from among you, and those who transgress against me. I will bring them out of the land where they sojourn. So he said he's going to get everybody. Oh, we all going to the kingdom. We all on our way. We made it. He done came and gathered us. But they shall not enter the land of Israel. Then you will know that I am Yahuwah. He said, I'm going to tell you this up front. So don't be surprised when it happens. You should already know. This is what I'm doing. So if you think you can slick Yahuwah, if you think you can get past him and think, yeah, hey, I'm going to slide by. I'm going to slip past him. He's not going to recognize me. Yeah. Yeah, don't try him. All right, so we see Cush became the father of Nimrod. He became the father of a man of rebellion. All right? And he was the first on the earth. He was the first on earth. You remember that first? At the beginning? What does that mean? Cloud, that the word we had there. You remember that word from 2 lessons ago, maybe? Huh? Halal. To defile. He was the first to defile, the first to profane, the first to desecrate, the first. He was the one that lead the charge. All right? Oh, we going good. We might finish early. He says to Seth, remember that? When Seth was born, he named Seth born a son, and his name was Enosh. And at that time, people began to invoke the name of Yahuwah. That didn't mean they started praising Yahuwah. No. I mean, they started defiling his name. Whatever. Oh, no, we got something greater than Yahuwah. We don't need him no more. Oh, no, I don't worship Yahuwah. I worship Gaia. I worship some other tree. I worship the fish, things that feed me. All right? Genesis 6:1, you see that there too. He said, when the people began to multiply on the face of the ground, and the daughters were born to them, right? So he says they begin to pollute the earth. They continue just multiplying, just doing all kind of debauchery. We read all that older lessons, right? All right. So we have this. Cush becomes the father of a man of rebellion, and he's the first to pollute, rebel, defile the earth. And he says that he was a mighty hunter before Yahuwah. So what does that mighty hunter mean? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I can't just go past a verse. I got to stop and say, wait a minute, what is this? Because I'm just reading, and then you be like, wait a minute, what does that mean? All right, let's go see. We know that mighty is the Gibbar, right? Brave, strong, mighty. But Gibbar is also to raise, flood, to be a great, strong, to prevail, overwhelm, to strengthen, to cause to triumph, confirm a covenant, or to show oneself as a victor. So he became one who was strong over the people, one of the true leaders, right? You would think, oh, that sounds good. He's a guy who has, he can actually lead the people in the right direction, but he's profaning in his leadership. He's a corrupt leader. He's a corrupt leader. And he says this hunter, game hunting, to stalk, when you get to the root of it, to hunt, to stalk, to ensnare, to stalk people for capture, or oppression. He was a terrible leader. He was a bad man. He was a man of a tyrant. He was the first tyrant. He ruled by fear, intimidation. All right? So let's see. You can be a hunter of seduction. You can be a hunter in seduction. Proverbs 6:25. This is the same words. Do not desire her beauty in your heart. And do not let her capture you with her eyelids. For the price of a prostitute is only a loaf of bread. But a married woman hunts down a precious life. This is adultery, right? If a woman or a man commits adultery, they're void of understanding. They're hunting you. They're trying to get you to fall. They're trying to take your life from you, right? Can a man carry fire next to his chest and his clothes not be burned? Yes. Even his body gonna burn, brother. His flesh. He's still gonna get burned. All right. You can hunt the hunter of divination. All right. As you, it says mortal, but of course it's Hadam, son of man. Set your face against the daughters of your people, who prophesy out of their own imagination. So we got these prophetess hearing the word from Yahuah, they say, and they say prophesying, right? They prophesying. I got prophesy. Yeah, prophet. All right. He says, prophesy against them and say, thus say Adon Yahuah, woe to the women who sew bands on all wrists. This is not just any old bracelet or anything, but this is like roots, voodoo charms. You know, it's supposed to be able to ward off things, right? And make veils for the heads of persons of every height in the hunt for human lives. These little statues, they make these little hoods and they come like little voodoo dolls. And you heard, we still do it today. It's still around. It's not on. You can do this now. You can go get your own kit and make it yourself. Will you hunt down lives among my people and maintain your own lives? You have profaned me among my people for handfuls of barley and pieces of bread. I'm just trying to make a living. I'll tell you your fortune. I'm just trying to make a living. I'll sell you this little gadget. I'm just trying to make a living. I'm just trying to make a living. Putting to death persons who should not die and keeping alive persons who should not live. Is that possible? Oh my goodness. By your lies to my people who listen to lies. You know we love some lies. You know they're having a crisis right now in the evangelical church. You know, they had all them prophecies out there. You know, and I listen to them from time to time, and they've been quiet and they're starting to come back saying, you know, well, I made this decision here, and I said, and all I wrote was that I said Yahuah put a spirit, a lying spirit in the mouth of the prophets. I say, Trump served his purpose. He served his purpose. He exposed a lot of underbelly, all the wickedness that was going on in those places, in their hearts, up until that time of the eruption. And his purpose was served. You know, he deleted my comment, but you know. But it's the truth. They don't want to accept it. They said, I know he said it. I said, yeah, he knew he said it too. He said he put a lying spirit in the mouth of the prophets. Go ahead, you're going to prevail. You're going to get it. It's going to happen. All the way to the 20th. He going to be in there. Yeah. All right. Ezekiel 13:20. Therefore, thus says Adon Yahuah, I am against your bands, which you hunt lives. I will tear them from your arms and will let the lives go free, and lives that you have hunted down like birds. And many people who have come out of witchcraft and all those types of works, you know, they really get serious about the Most High. They do not play with that stuff anymore once they get free. All right? But don't think you're going to tinker around with it and you're going to be okay. You can tinker around with it if you want to, Thinking you got some secret esoteric knowledge. All right. He goes on to say, he said, I will tear off your veils and save my people from your hands. They shall no longer be prey in your hands, and you shall know that I am Yahuah, because you have disheartened the righteous falsely. Although I have not disheartened them. I didn't do it. I'm not disheartening. You've been telling them lies. They've been leaving you. They've been saying, I'm prophesying in the name of you. I'm one of the children of Yah. This wasn't like other nations. These are people in the nation deceiving people in the nation. Okay. All right. That don't happen today, does it? No, we don't see that. Okay. All right. They don't happen, do they? All right. Therefore, you shall no longer see false visions or practice divination. I will save my people from your hand. Then you will know that I am Yahuah. We have to know this stuff. This is not something brand new. This didn't just start last week. This didn't spring up out the ground. He said, there's what? Nothing new under the sun. How can you say that? Well, he's been around for a lot of eons. We can't even imagine because we can get past 80 good. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine living 400, 500 years, 1,000? Can you imagine 900? How many sunrises you set? How many equinoxes you set? How many trees and gardens you planted? How many? Huh? See your great children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, your great-great-great-grandchildren? Huh? See your line, your name going way back? Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, it would be. But that's not our plot. That is not our place today. All right? Yeah. They don't even age. They don't start aging until later on. Okay. I'll probably go over that later on. That makes something. All right. No. Micah 7:2. He said, you can hunt in injustice, right? So the faithful have disappeared from the land, and there is no one left who is upright. They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt each other with nets. This is talking about Nimrod. This is the Nimrod syndrome. This is what Nimrod was doing. These are things, when you see these things, the reason we have the law, statute, and commandment we have is because everything that's in there is what they were doing. Down to the letter, detail. And he said, you guys going to do the same thing. No, we love you with all our hearts, with all our souls, with all our strength. And but you see the pattern just continues. But he says, you got to this point in this generation, he said, y'all going to forget. By the time we got to this point, we just not discovering a lot of things. All right? Their hands are skilled to do evil. The official and the judge ask for bribes, and the powerful dictate what they desire. They pervert justice. They manipulate the system. I got the power. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. Why is so-and-so not going to jail? You know he was guilty. You know he did it, but he knows people. He knows, right? All right. No. He says, before Yahuah, he's a mighty hunter before Yahuah. What does that have to do with that? What does that mean, before Yahuah? What does that mean? Before Yahuah, anybody? He's a mighty hunter. I'm just going to make it simple. We're going to go straight to it.
Is he saying like he's doing just evil things right in front of Yahuwah's face?
In his face. In his face. He's a rebellion. He don't care. I don't believe in nothing you said. I don't believe you. Matter of fact, I'm upset with the fact that you had to drown the other world. Because in his mind, maybe, I'm speculating here. I'm speculating. I'm going to speculate. I'm going to say that right up front. If you constantly see all the destruction that's going on, because before you knew the truth, you was thinking, why is all this wickedness in the world? Where's all this coming from? If he's Elohim, why is he allowing all this? Right? That's everybody's asked that same question. You're like, and just like today, this is a Nimrod generation. I don't believe nothing. Oh, no. I'm going to do what I want to do. Everybody on equal footing. You're talking about justice. Well, justice is equality, and equality means we all get treated alike. Even if I want to be something other than what I was born to be, huh? Huh? I can be and do whatever. I don't have to listen. Who? What Bible? Whose Bible? What, you know what I'm saying? I don't. Oh no. My God, huh? My God, He loves everybody. My God, right? So now you got to ask, who is your God? Huh? Because they think it's only. Uh-oh. He ain't gonna believe if they start saying the God of the Bible, Abraham, Isaac. No, you done lied. The devil is a liar. You done Abraham. No. They got some other gods in there. You might be Marduk. It might be Astra. It might be somebody else. But it ain't Yahuah Elohim. You done lied. All right. Okay. Here we go. And then he beginning to build his kingdom of Babylon, erect Acadia, and all in the land of Shinar. Who else rebelled like this? And then after they left the face of Yahuwah, begin to build. Before Nimrod, I'm not talking about Israel right now. Before Nimrod, who else?
Was
Ham,
Cain?
Shem, and
Cain.
Cain.
It was Cain.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. The hands was raised. I saw it. Hallelujah. All right. But we say, I'm just going to show you what I mean by the face. So, all right. He prepared to turn, Panai, to prepare, to turn away, to turn to, all right? To turn because of, or to turn on, right? Like face, right? Appearance, presence, before in front of the presence, to show one's face is a sign of favoritude. To turn or hide one's face is a sign of rejection. So he's turning his face away from you. He's doing everything he's doing blatantly in his face. You see me down here. You big, you bad. If you Elohim, come on down and deal with thee. These are my people. These are my people. They do what I say do.
Salika, in your studies, did you come across anything that referenced him as Gilgamesh?
Yes.
And there was a deal that seems to have been cut that actually changed his physiology, that made him great, as in gargantuan.
No, yeah. Look, brother, I'm still reading now. There's so many archaeological digs and stuff. Yeah, we're trying to mesh them all together right now. Because I said, this is the time when the scrolls and the books have been what? Before it was closed. I couldn't ask my grandmama about this. I couldn't ask my grandfather about this. They couldn't ask their parents about it. They didn't even allow us to read for a long time. Not that the information wasn't there. But now that it's here and we're able to put it together and synthesize it and say, okay, they want you to think you're crazy. Why are they preparing everything? Why are they trying to get out to space so bad? Why are they still trying to build this Tower of Babel? Why are we trying to get on spaceships and putting space stations? They ain't even going to space. They just in the upper atmosphere. They know they can't get past the dome. But it's just the thought that we're trying to be defying. In his face, we control our destiny. There's some ancient families. Like we have been all scattered and disconnected. But you got some groups. We've been under the captivity of Ham. We've been under the captivity of Shem. And now we're currently under the captivity of Japheth. If you think about it, he said this was going to happen. He He said, you're gonna do it. You're gonna get your brothers. Y'all gonna be apart. You're gonna treat your neighbors right. That's what he was saying. All this is not no. That's why he tells us, go back and look at the generations, right? And like I said, I'm done for right now. I was gonna go to the Bible, but I said I'm gonna wait. Yeah, because it's too much, and I gotta still unpacking. All right, that's what you want, the Bible. All right. So we see that Cain, when he went away from his presence of Yahuwah, his face of Yahuwah, he settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. That's another little clue. Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore a fellow named Enoch. And he built a city and named it Enoch after his son. It's a pattern. We see that. We got so many places over here named for people that we don't even know. And they repeat the names that they come from, the old names, ancient names. That's why they got some of our people, brothers thinking, man, this could be the promised land. This could be, you got Memphis over here. This could be Egypt, and because then they got all kinds of weird theories because they're just trying to piece things together, and they want to believe that I am absolutely 100% right. Well, I'm saying, just look at the evidence. The evidence is, look, Yahuwah said, what he has called from the very beginning is going to come to the end. And that's how you're going to know that he's who he says he is. And because we're here studying it, and because we've come to knowledge of the truth and serving and pursuing him and trying to do what he's asked us to do, and most importantly, believe in Yahushua HaMashiach. Most importantly, the one he said, I'm going to send, this seed, that this blessing is going to bless all the nations. So now everybody can come back. But then we got brothers that want to let no brother in. We want to keep everybody else. He's ours and ours alone. He's not here for everybody else. He's only here for us. But what happened when he made Adam? And Adam began to have children. And then he saved one. And then they had children. And that's how we got here. Before he didn't even... He called Abraham out. Where did he call him from? He was a Chaldean. So you mean he told me he grabbed a Gentile? Uh-oh. I'm going to go on. Let me see that for another time. I'm going to say that for another time. All right. I'm done. I'm done for today. Any questions?